Welcome, people. Waiting for people to show up, so just hang tight a minute here. Great updates for tonight. Let some more eyes show up before we get started. Yes, let us know where you're calling in from. Hello, Tony. Access, great. See who else is here. They can let us know. Second. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa from Connecticut. Who else do we have here? We've got a few more people. I've got some really important, exciting energy updates that we're going to be talking about tonight. So maybe while we're waiting for just another minute or so, you could share this with some friends. Let them know that we're on live. And says we are live on Instagram as well. So unfortunately, Instagram people can't comment. I can't see their comments. So maybe you would rather join us live on YouTube. We can hear your comments, we can answer your questions, and the channel is Shama Kim Productions. And you could meet us here. All right, let me turn off the music. We're starting to lose people. All right. Hang in there. We're going to have some really good stuff for tonight. So for those of you who have been following along, let me get to the comments. There we are. For those of you who have been following along, we have been going through a series of upgrades, energy upgrades. We had the summer solstice activation, all the light codes that were coming in then. And that was also on the heels of the big activation that happened when I went to Bali and Cambodia for the unloading or activating keys that were given to me. And so this has helped to access more of our personal power. And the power that got activated in Bali and Cambodia had to do with feeling safe to be in our power, accessing more of our gifts. It kind of felt like our superpowers. And so this has, I don't know about you guys, but it has really, each successive one has been growing on the next. And so now we have, just with this past luminary activation, it's not even a week ago now, on the last luminary activation, we were able to collapse the negative infiltration matrix, we'll call it. So you may have been noticing, maybe not, but the way that this ancient interference that I refer to as AI has been over time slowly increasing the ways that they have been controlling us. in retrospect, I now realize that it has probably been more about not so much that they're increasing their infiltration, but more that as we peeled away all the layers, we were able to see the levels and the degrees that they were going to try to control us with spells, with curses, these cords, massive cords. And it just kept seeming like it was getting worse and worse and more intense. And so finally, I received an activation from another healer, and then decided to use that same activation, since I had been activated on those who were on the call on the luminary activation. And as a result, we were able to anchor to our oversoul. It's that part of us, like we are fractals of our greater self, our what they call our oversoul. And so we were able to anchor that oversoul into our spine, and we were able to collapse all the ways that they have been infiltrating into our energy field. And so to me, it seemed like, wow, how is that even possible? Like I've been doing this work for a really long time. Is that really possible? Would it really stick that we could do what we did and that's all we needed to do? And the answer was yes, that it was actually that simple. And so what happened was then on Monday, this past Monday, we started our 12-day program where we practice every day running our energy. And so I was able to use this whole group as a platform to see if this had indeed stuck. Was it really true that these infiltrations were clear now? We don't have to scan anymore for these infiltrations. And what I discovered on this call over the last few days is that yes, it is indeed true. When we come online now for the our clearing, there's no spells, there's no curses, there's no cords. People come grounded. Their energy is flowing. And so now what's happening is, and this is all to my surprise and amazement, is that because it just felt like there's more to this. There's that almost felt a little bit too much like waving the magic wand. However, it did stick, and we are not finding any more cords, spells, etc. However, what we are doing now is we're clearing all the residual programs, all the programming that has made us feel powerless over eons and eons, the energies that made us feel like we were not sovereign in our lives. And we were able to, or what we're doing in this 12-day program is that we are little by little clearing deeper and deeper, excavating these programs that have been clearing us, even going back 400 generations. Now I had to do the math on that. I was like, is that true? Is that correct? 10,000 years? That's like 10,000 years. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But then it made sense with the energies that we were finding. A lot of unresolved past lives that were showing up around being powerless, a lot of the energies related to the heart, opening our heart, accessing our heart, because our heart is really the most powerful part of our energy field, in my opinion. It's the part that this AI energy has wanted to hold down the most because they know how powerful it is. And first of all, long ago, of course, we have already figured out how to undo this program, but they have programmed people to believe that we have to go on the outside to find love. And so this is what people were always doing, trying to find love in relationships, to find love in hobbies or all kinds of things, but everything on the outside, not realizing that all this time we could self-generate it right here in our heart chakra. And so we cleared that program a while ago. So we've been activating our heart's self generating love for some time. However, there's still deeper layers of unworthiness and feeling like not enoughness, and like we must be doing something wrong. And so feeling guilty. That's been a lot of what's been coming up out of this heart chakra. So it's been really fascinating, one, to think that this is possible, that now we can anchor into our oversoul. We can declare our sovereignty and our mastery of our field, and that we just basically say no more, that this infiltration can't happen anymore. And so it's been unbelievably surprising, shocking, exciting to know that this is all very true. And had it not been for this group that we're able to practice with every day for the next 12 days, we'll be going until the 22nd, that I wouldn't have known that this was true unless I had this group to be able to reflect all these things off of. So it's been fascinating, and there's more to explore. One of the things we're going to be exploring is, because I know that this AI infiltration has been disrupting our sleep and our sleep patterns, because they know it's not only such a restorative place at night where we replenish, restore, and get realigned and back on track, but we're also traversing other dimensions, doing additional work according to our purpose or path or whatever. But we are not just sleeping at night. And so if they can disrupt that, they will. They've basically been trying to hijack our sleep space so that we can't do our work. So that's one of the things we're going to be exploring. I also discovered that the we space, which is the space between a couple or two people, it could just be two people in general. It could be, maybe a family member, it could be a coworker, but whatever this space, we meaning two, where you're creating a relationship space here, and discovered that this space can also have an oversoul. It's like a whole nother identity, this we space. So we're going to be exploring that as well, and so many more things as I'm being guided by spirit. So yes, it is fascinating, Brooke, and it's almost hard to believe. It's almost hard to believe, and it has left many feeling a little discombobulated, a little tired. Um, and so there is so for some of you, you may be finding other ways to do this recalibration work, connecting to your oversoul, and just declaring your sovereignty. Uh, and if that's the case, you may be experiencing some of the things that we've been experiencing. And so it's not uncommon to feel tired, for one. This is taking a lot of recalibration of the brain, of our mind, how we think, the programs that we operate through. And so as we're recalibrating, we might be pretty tired and maybe a little spacey. I noticed the eyes have been a little tired, or um, yeah, like recalibrating. So there's a lot going on right now. Well, I'm curious if any of you have questions about this or any other thing that I could entertain for tonight. We have a few people here. That's great. So just checking in to see if you've got something you want me to take a peek at. No. Okay. Well, I'll share a little something for those of you who are on my email list. Um, if you didn't get this, if you didn't get my last email, either you're not subscribed, or you may have gotten a product or something but didn't subscribe to our email list. And so I shared a really um, amazing experience with my horse and the healing that's happening there. Um, and a picture. I don't know. Did I share this with you guys last time? I'll just share it with you over my phone, but it's quite fascinating in that um, this is a picture from when I was 5. And hang on a second. And there was this man that was going around the neighborhood taking pictures of little kids on this little pony. And so my mom um, washed my face really quick. I didn't have any shoes on, and they put me up on this little horse. And so this is the picture that they took of me on this horse. And so the interesting thing about it, though, is that um, my new horse looks nearly identical, which is absolutely crazy. Um, but I have to show you this. Hang on just a second. This is worth the wait. Hang on. Um, mhm. Oops. Hang on. Okay. So, and the thing that's fascinating is that um, for those of you who know my story, know that I was I was experiencing sexual abuse with my alcoholic father until I was about 5. And so that little picture is about the time it stopped. And so it's like a seed was planted that would reconnect me all these years later with this guy that looks nearly identical. So he's a baby here. The other horse was a pony. Uh, but it's like this horse has come into my life to heal a lot of those old wounds, even though I've done, you think you've done a million years of work on some old wounding. And then you find, oh my goodness, here's another angle to this. Although now it doesn't feel like it's so much around the wound, clearing the wound, but really more about helping that little girl step fully into her power. And so that's what all of these things, that have been going on, more and more of our power, is what's happening now. So it was kind of a really phenomenal kind of a thing that was happening. All right. So, Brooke, I've noticed after having my daughter in 2023, I get these shocks of pain in my joints, specifically my hands right now. Interesting. I have no idea what that is, Brooke. Shocks of pain, yeah. Um, because your energy field, your looks pretty clear. Your field is running, so that's a mystery. I don't know the answer to that one. Behawk, hello. I'm surprised how spot on you were, especially with all of the symptoms. The symptoms of, I'm not sure what you're talking about, B. And Althea from Arkansas. Great. Great to have you here. Can these energy shifts can these energy shifts affect digestion? Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. Is that right in the solar plexus is where we are accessing these new levels of our power. And the solar plexus, that power chakra, affects all of those organs right there, especially our stomach, but also our small intestines and, the stomach, more about digestion. In your case, Lisa, um, yes, your stomach is being affected. It's operating at a low percentage. Um, Small intestines is the problem. It's not there. Your pancreas is 100%, so it's not there. It looks like it's mostly in the stomach. Yeah, and it looks like you also have some people. I was going to say people or person. There's 3 energy cords that are plugged in there. Looks like from a man maybe your partner. Do you have a partner? Looks like he's trying to control what you do. I love animals. Great. Yes. So, B, when you spoke about the calibration and the new effects towards sleep, yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people are having really intense dreams, and so that's been really fascinating. Brooke, do you think these crazy weather patterns and flooding are from cloud seeding or just Mother Nature? There's nothing natural about these floodings, so it is not Mother Nature, um, and it is from cloud seeding. But why are they overseeding these clouds? Um, anyway, it's quite tragic and nothing natural about it. So yeah. All right. What other questions you guys have for me tonight? I know I didn't give much announcement that I was going to be coming on, but I'm certainly happy to entertain your questions. And the other thing that I wanted to let you know about was vibration of the weather if we try. Yes, that is possible. But before I go there, Brooke, let me just share something. This will be in the show notes as well, for those of you who listen later. But I wanted to, because this activation was so powerful, collapsing this negative time, this negative control matrix, that I wanted to give everyone the opportunity. And this is the link, although I know you can't click on it, and it might be a bit of a challenge to write it down. Um, let's see. There. Um, but that's the link, and it will be in the show notes afterwards if you want to just click on it there. But that is the replay of July's luminary activation, which is normally part of a membership, a monthly membership. You can just join for the month, but it was so powerful that I really want as many people who are interested as possible to. Participate in this activation, get galactivated so that you're no longer being infiltrated. You're accessing your sovereignty, commanding your space. And from here, it's just a matter of clearing the old programming that's been left behind. So it's really such a massive shift. I'm just really kind of speechless about it. And for how big it is, can't even quite convey in words. But anyway, that's the link if you'd like to participate, and it will be in the show notes. It is clickable. Wow, awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Brooke. So it is clickable. I got here late, possible to do a brief recap. We were doing a recap on what happened during luminary activation this past Thursday, which was collapsing of the ancient interference control matrix. So what that means, which I haven't said yet, is that we I've been checking just because I'm like speechless that it's even possible. But there's no longer these cords, spells, curses, dead people that are being used by AI, control beings, etc., that are controlling us. So now, however, there is, and this may not be for everyone. So I haven't checked everyone. I've only been checking the people that are in my 12-day program who participated in the luminary activation. So I wanted to see if it actually stuck for all of us. And the answer is yes. Whether or not this is affecting people just out in the world, I don't think so, because they're not connected to their oversoul. So now, for those who are on this ascension path, this is like mm, the next octaves of that frequency alignment, because all of the stuff that we're desiring out into the future, the golden age, clean air, plenty of, uh, food and no poisoning, blah, 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 all the things, it already exists. We are now just continuing to align to that frequency, and everything that's not aligned to that frequency is falling away. And so that's what this activation was all about. It's about uh, collapsing this negative control matrix for those who are ready to be connected to their oversoul and really anchor that in place. I did notice there was at least one, maybe there was a couple people on the call, the luminary activation call, who um, couldn't allow it. They were there, but maybe they just weren't ready to let go of their stories of suffering and etc. So there were a few people there that did not let it in. So it's not just going to happen for everyone. It has to be a choice. And that's kind of what we're all doing right now, right? Deciding what side are we on, what path are we going to be on. Um, okay, good. So that was the recap. And so back to Brooke's question, can we collectively shift the vibration of the weather if we try? Yes, and it doesn't even necessarily need to be a collective thing. Um, I often will practice cloud busting. In fact, I just saw one of my older videos just last night going, oh, yeah, I used to do that. And you can practice on thinner clouds just by focusing your attention on these clouds to bust those cloud vapors. And so I suggest you try things like that so you can start seeing how powerful you actually are. I know that when there were the fires that were up in Northern California, up in Sonoma, um, that I um, did my share of helping from behind the scenes with bringing in. I don't think I was able to bring in rain in that one, but at least uh, removing and eliminating the fury that's in fire. So in wildfires, of course, the wildfires we have now are there's nothing natural about them, but they do have a lot of fury in them. So I would do my best to quell all of those furies, taking out the energies that were making it so raging. When you say a raging fire, yeah, that's fury. And then also, I participated in the fires in Australia when those were also happening a few years back. And that did bring in rain, which I was quite amused by. I don't know if amused is the right word, but at any rate. So, yeah, start practicing your control of the weather, the wind, the rain, and the clouds. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I remember, I'll just share one other thing that happened when I was in Peru. In the Sacred Valley, we were staying in the little town of Pisac, which is kind of on the way to Machu Picchu. And I stayed there for about 3 months. And this one, and we lived on the hillside, a very steep hillside of this valley. So you have the main sacred valley and then these little valleys that would come off of it. Anyway, very steep. There was about 100 stairs that you had to climb up to get to this little casita. And no two stairs were alike. There was no guardrail. Some were concrete, some was just dirt. I mean, no two steps were alike, and quite treacherous. Anyway, that's how we had to get up and down that hill every day if we wanted to go to the market or go anywhere. And in that high altitude, quite the challenge to get up and down those stairs. At any rate, there was one night I used to like listening to music on my headphones, and I was out there with this one night, and so there was this very narrow, maybe it's only about 3 feet wide, of this uh, deck out in front, 3 feet wide, not really much of a deck, and no guardrail, and it would go straight down the hill. At any rate, I was out there dancing on this deck and for about an hour, and then I just felt like it was time to come in. So as I was starting to gather things up and come inside. A breeze started happening, and but the breeze, because there was no breeze before, it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then as I was going inside, it was so breezy. I remember like sticking my head out the door and just in the air coming, I went inside and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And then my friends told me the next night that the wind was so much that it actually blew out a candle that was inside the house. So what was happening is as I was dancing, sending all of this energy out into the ethers. And when I stopped, it just all started coming back like a big tsunami of wind. And so it was crazy. It really helped me to realize that we have more command over the elements than we realize. So start start practicing your cloud busting and whatever else um, is your fancy. All right, full moon tomorrow. Anything special happening? Tomorrow is the full moon. There's not anything special happening. However, um, you could make something special happen. I always have just a big feelings of gratitude on the full moon, because the full moon is really it's the fullness of the whole month, and it really represents all of the blessings that we have received, and we're in that state of gratitude for all the things we do have. We're sharing with the universe and with source. Our gratitude is showing what we want more of. And so the more gratitude we can have, and thanks. Gratitude is actually kind of funny in that um, gratitude is almost like there's some payment involved. Like um I'm struggling for words here right now. Um, Well, the energy is a little different, but when we're just thankful, there's no compensation. Like we're just sending out thanks. When we're grateful for something, it's almost like we have to give something back or something. There's has to be some kind of exchange. But when we're thankful, that's just putting it out there. So much thanks for everything we do have, all the blessings we have. And as we do that, it's telling the universe what we want more of. And so that's always a good thing. So that's the only special thing that's happening in my life anyway for tomorrow. We get tornadoes in Nebraska. Um, Gratitude. Yes. Being thankful is what I think is the words are interesting. So, um, where was it? The tornadoes. You were talking about tornadoes. Tornadoes, and how would you practice keeping these away? Interesting. Well, when there is a tornado, tap into the energy of that, because that is likely an entity of some sort. I've not really looked at tornadoes, so this is kind of interesting. This is the first time I've kind of looked at them. It feels as though there's some kind of an entity or a group of entities in this with a lot of fury. And so if I were working on it, this is what I would do. I would ground that tornado deep into the earth so that you're pulling all the energy down, 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 and pulling all of that anger, rage, and fury down with the tornado into the earth so that you could collapse it. Maybe that's what I would do or try to do if I were, what is that called? What those people who chase tornadoes, tornado chaser? That's how I would try and bust a tornado. In fact, I would be curious. Now I'm curious uh, for that to happen. If there's, if you ever guys have a tornado, hit me up and we could do it together. Um, after 2 minutes, I started making moon water, manifesting a healthy baby. Interesting. Okay, so the moon water, so drinking the moon water and then putting your intentions in the water as it's sitting in the moon and then drinking in the moonlight and then drinking it. I'm guessing. Is that what you're talking about? Indebted, yes. We don't want to feel indebted. Um, yes, being grateful makes us feel indebted. Correct, Selma. Thank you for sharing that. Althea, how do we use our power energy to maybe heal others? My baby nephew suffers from a rare bone cancer, and I am wondering if or how can I use my energy to help heal him? That's a very big, broad question. Let's see. It makes me curious if the baby received the vaccine. They're pumping up babies with so many inoculations now. It is insane. And so, kids are coming up with all kinds of crazy things. So, um, yeah, I couldn't even attempt to answer that question right now because it's too big. There's so many things that are going on. Um, a lot of curses and mm, yeah. So I really have to have a bigger look at this. And also, here's the thing about healing other people. And I know with babies, it's a whole different thing. But we have no idea what karmic arrangements this family created before this baby incarnated and what it agreed to have with this family. I'll give you an example of something where we want what's best for people, and we think that I can see how I can help this person, and if they could only let me, then their life would be so much better. So I had a previous partner whose son was shot, and in this, it created a spinal injury, so that he was then paralyzed from about the chest down, had limited um, movements with his arms. And so when that happened, we went to the hospital, and we were there every day. Every day I was, doing energy work, healing on him. The doctors were saying, "Oh, we've not seen anybody, recover as fast as him," and blah blah blah. And he was really making some great progress in a short amount of time. But then the father said, I was thinking, well, hey, maybe he'll be able to walk again. And the father said, don't give him any false hope. And so in that moment, I realized, wow, this is not my creation here. This family has agreed to all of this ahead of time. There are three boys in the family. All three boys had tattooed on their arm, "My brother's keeper." The boy that got shot had a tattoo of I don't know if it was a missile or a bullet that went up his arm like this, and he was shot also in the neck. So, we don't know, what people have planned ahead of time. And I realized that it was not my place to heal this kid as much as I wanted to, and as much as I could have gotten all in my ego. Oh, but I'm healing him. Uh, but that's not what that family had in mind, or had planned, or had agreed ahead of time before they even came here. And so I had to step back and little by little just watched him go down the hill. He ended up dying 5 years later. It was 5 years of suffering, and it was horrible. But you know, not my place to interfere. And so we really, we always want what's best for others, but we don't really know. And unless the parents have given us permission to, do some help, then really, it's really not our place to interfere, unfortunately. Um, So Brooke, she would leave the water out under the moon overnight and drink it the next day. My daughter's now 20 months now. Yeah. And so I'm assuming you would also put those intentions into the moon water and then drink it. I manifested 2 cars that way. I took a big glass jug of water, and I wrapped this picture of the particular car that I wanted, about how much money I wanted to pay, blah, 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 and I would just keep drinking that every day, every day. After about a week, I 2 times that happened. All right. Tony wants to know, what's my money capacity to magnetize and attract financial resources? Marker. So basically, you're asking, what's your money frequency? Right now, it's at 500, Tony. We are going to be working on this in the 12 days. So um, hang tight. Well, no, I'll tell you, you're a little more advanced. So I'll let you know where you can work. We don't have too many people on this call. So um, let's see. In your money pile, you need to drain out. So this is who's bringing your money frequency down. It's the wife. So she has um, a low money frequency at 250, and so that keeps putting a drain on your money frequency. And let's see who else. And pause. Yep, that's it. So do that and then bring that money frequency, that golden stream of energy into your energy field. 765. And then it has a hard time resonating at your heart. So there's must be that old program, which we're still working on in this 12 days, the program of proving your worth and value. Do you really deserve it? Are you enough to actually bring it in? Can I just be in this high frequency and just magnetize it? So you're still working some invalidation in your heart chakra. So keep running that high money frequency through the heart, clearing all those places that say you need to prove how it worked, Tony. And you can't just magnetize money. It doesn't work that way. That's what they're going to tell you. So keep clearing that invalidation in the heart. Uh, and then also in the root where it doesn't feel safe. Like, when's money going to run away next? I just doesn't feel safe. I can't trust this money. I can't trust this money character. So yeah, those are the two places. All right. Selma, welcome, Selma. Could you also check my financial abundance and where is the blockage? Well, in your money pile, so first you've got to raise your money frequency. It is low at 250. Your mom's in there. I'm getting sister. I think you have a sister. Sister in there, or someone who's like a sister. Boss is not in there, so that's good. So those two are putting high demands, expectations on your money. And then you're also, I don't know if you saw the luminary activation. I put the link above. Someone says it's clickable. Click on it so you can listen to the last luminary activation, where we collapsed the negative control matrix, this AI controlling matrix, so that those who are connected with their oversoul no longer have to keep checking for spells, curses, cords. They're just gone now. So, however, your as you bring this, if you after you clear your money frequency, when you bring it into your field, you need it at your crown, so you don't feel sovereign over your money. So that's number one, right in the crown. Also the heart, just like Tony, solar plexus, where you feel powerless around money. and then root where money doesn't feel safe. So you've got a lot of beliefs and programs that are going on that need clearing. So this is the next level of us stepping into our power. Yes, these controlling mechanisms are gone for those of us who are connected to our oversoul now. However, the residual programs that they've implanted for eons are still in place. So those are the programs that we're now um, eliminating, uninstalling. We're doing the uninstall for all of the old programs, and so yeah, that's what we're doing now. Thanks for asking, Selma. Speaking of money frequencies, you've mentioned my mom being in mine, and she passed in 2011 from brain cancer. I'm really curious why she keeps popping up. Was beautiful, sweet soul, yes, but she was plagued by some thoughts and thinking that she could not, um, toxic thoughts. Maybe she didn't reveal that to other people. Maybe how she was feeling a little bit like a prisoner in her own mind. And yeah, some maybe demons in her closet that she couldn't talk about. But your money frequency, it's at infinity, Brooke. And you're aligned in all of your chakras with it. Circle of reciprocity is flowing. So maybe you just haven't received the inspiration about how you're going to manifest more money, because everything's in place for it to come in. So that's the good news. Hi, Janira. You're welcome, Selma. Makes sense of mom and not much of a sister. Half sister. Yes, I remember that. Fair blood. Um, yeah, so maybe it's a female friend that feels like a sister, but yeah, there's two of them. Janira, I have been trying to grow my business in energy healing for 6 years. Where is my money frequency at the moment? What can I do? Um, it's low. Yeah, it's low. It's at 250, which is low. That's kind of at the bottom of the heap, bottom of the pile. Um, let's see. I'll let you know who's in your. I should just turn that off, but there we go. We're almost done here. I'm going to answer your question in just a minute, but I forgot to tell my next client I will be there in one moment. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, so what's in your money pile, Janira, is your dad's beliefs. Looks like a partner. You have a partner. Their low money frequency is also in your money pile. Doesn't look like you have children in your money pile or other family. A boss also in your money pile. So all those frequencies need to be removed from your money pile to raise it to an elevated frequency, minus all these other people and their beliefs. And then as you run that through your field, you align your field to this new high frequency. So that's the short answer. That I do have a few programs. As a matter of fact, at the bottom of my page, KimberlySherry.com, bottom of my website, there is a bundle. It's called the Money Matrix bundle, I think. There's quite a few activations in there that can help activate your exactly what I'm talking about. It will walk you through the whole process. And there's several of those activations in there. So that would be the first thing that I would suggest. The second thing I would suggest is in a month, that would be August 7th, the day before the Lionsgate portal, we are going to be doing our next luminary activation. We always do it on the first Thursday of every month. This next luminary activation is going to be preparing us for the Lionsgate portal on 8/8, which is all about abundance. It's all about abundance. So we're going to be preparing to receive all those light codes that are coming in, that are preparing us to receive more abundance, more of these light codes. The Lionsgate portal, what's actually happening is the brightest, first of all, the sun is in Leo, so that's a very big energy anyway. But the sun is also aligned with the brightest star in the sky, Sirius, which is twice the size of our sun, but it's 10 times more luminous. So this alignment is creating a massive flow of light codes that all relate to abundance, the courage of the lion, that bold energy. And so we've got a lot of energetic support that's going to be helping us along the lines of abundance and prosperity. So I'm going to be doing an activation then. I haven't decided yet if that will include raising our money frequency, but you have these other options also available. And then also coming down the pike, maybe this might sound a little too far, but in towards the end of August, we will be doing our next 12-day program. So usually we do it every other month, but since I'll be in Africa in September, we're doing it a little bit earlier so that we can end on time before I leave. So anyway, all those things are coming down the pike, and those are some great avenues for stepping into more of our abundance, wealth, prosperity, which is a frequency. If you're chasing money, you're going to have a long path of chasing this elusive butterfly, because it's not more money that you want. What you really want is the feeling that you get from having more money. You really want the feeling of maybe more, the memories that having more money creates, the peace of mind of not having to worry, maybe a certain lifestyle. That's, we don't really want paper and ink. We want what the money creates for us. And that all lives in a frequency that you're just not in right now. And so that's what all of this aligning of frequencies is all about, so that we can get in sync, turn to the right channel where all that we desire already exists. All right, we are at the top of the hour, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us this week. And I probably will not be back. I might be back on Sunday, but otherwise, look for me next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. Not sure. No, it won't be Tuesday. It'll probably be Wednesday. There we go. I'm thinking out loud. All right. Sending so much love, and thank you for joining us tonight. Until we meet again, keep asking my favorite question. How? How does it get any better than this? And then stay in that blissful question of, I wonder. Sending much love. Namaste.